Okay, so we continue with the next subject. This is about the steady space representation of the doubly fed induction machine. We will work in alpha beta model and DQ model. Okay, so let's start with this part. From the previous class, okay, I will have a representation of the alpha beta model, okay, in steady space equation. Okay, so from the previous class, we know this is the flux. The superscript S means is represented in the stator reference frame, okay? For the rotor 2, I will have this is referred to the stator, the quantities I refer to the stator, and these quantities are referred to the rotor. Okay, so we have these two equations. Okay, my objective is to compute the currents. Okay, my objective is to compute the current. So I will have two current. This is current S. This is the stator current space vector, and this is the rotor current space vector. So I have these two equations. Okay, I need to solve these two equations, 2 by 2 equations. So I will multiply the first one by this, and the second one by the stator inductance. Okay, because my objective is to compute the stator current and the rotor current. Okay, so solving these 2 by 2 equations, okay, I will get the stator current space vector is equal to the negative. I will have the rotor inductance. I will have the stator flux space vector. Okay, plus I will have the magnetizing inductance times the rotor flux space vector over the magnetizing inductance square minus the rotor inductance times the stator inductance, solving these 2 by 2 equations. Okay, so do you remember from the control theory, I will have here in the state space representation, this is a small deviation, okay? So I will have the derivative of the states is equal to the matrix A. This is the state matrix times I will have the small change in the states plus B times this is X, sorry. This is only X, okay? So I will clear. Okay, so this is the state space representation. Okay, so my objective is to put this equation in this form. Okay. Okay, so this is the stator current space vector. Solving this 2 by 2 equation, I will get the rotor current space vector. Okay, so I will have the rotor current is represented in the stator reference frame. This is equal to the magnetizing inductance times the stator flux space vector over. I will have here the stator inductance minus the magnetizing inductance square plus I will have the stator inductance over the stator inductance plus the magnetizing inductance square times the rotor flux space vector. Okay, so solving these 2 by 2 equations, I will get the stator current and the rotor current, okay? Okay, so this is for the stator and for the rotor, the currents, okay? So I need to compute now. I will work with the voltage equations, okay? So I will have this is the stator voltage space vector and this is the rotor voltage space vector. Okay, so from the previous equation, I have the currents. Okay, so substituting, I will have here the stator current space vector. I will have the rotor current space vector. Okay, so this equation substituting into this equation, and this equation substituting in this equation. Okay, isolating the flux. Okay, taking into account this is equal to 1 minus the magnetizing inductance square over the stator inductance times the rotor inductance. Okay. Okay, so once again, this equation and this equation, substituting here, okay, and isolating the flux, taking into account this term, okay, I will have in the matrix form, okay? So I will get this equation. This is in the state space representation, okay? In this case, I am using the fluxes, okay? In this case, I am using the fluxes. Okay, so if I have the state or reference frame, it's possible to break down in two components, okay? This is the stator reference frame, so I am representing in the stator's reference frame. Therefore, it's possible to split up in the alpha beta component, okay? So I will have two components for this flux and two components for this flux. This is the alpha beta reference frame, okay? So I will have, splitting up, I will have the alpha and beta component, okay? And the same for the rotor, right? And the same for the rotor, I will have the alpha and beta component. So finally, this is the matrix, okay? This is the matrix A, okay? So expanding the last expression in the alpha beta component, we obtain this is the steady state representation of the alpha beta model, okay? The same for the voltage and for the fluxes, right? So splitting up in two components, I will get this. For the stator, I will have the alpha and beta components, and for the rotor, I will have the alpha beta component. The same for the voltages, right? The same for the voltages. So finally, I will get the state matrix. This is the matrix A. In order to carry out the small signal stability analysis, okay? This is the state space representation in the alpha beta reference frame, okay? In the alpha beta reference frame. But it's possible instead of the fluxes changing by the currents, okay? So I need a model instead of the fluxes, I need as a function of the currents, okay? So let's derive the model as a function of the currents, okay? So if instead of the fluxes, the current is chosen as steady space magnitudes, okay, I will get a new model. Okay, so once again, starting from the previous equation, for instance, I will have the stator voltage space vector, okay, is equal to the stator resistance times the stator current space vector plus the derivative. I will have the stator flux space vector. Okay, this is for the stator, okay? If for the flux, I will have the stator flux space vector is equal to the stator inductance times the stator current space vector plus the magnetizing inductance times the rotor current space vector. Okay, so we have already derived this equation in the previous class. Okay, this is for the voltage and this is for the current. Okay, so substituting, let's call this equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. So substituting equation number 1 into equation number 2, okay, I will get the stator voltage space vector, okay, is equal to the stator resistance, okay, times the stator current space vector plus, so substituting, I will have the derivative of this current and the derivative of this current. So taking out these terms, taking out from the derivative, okay, so I will get the stator inductance. I will have the derivative because this is instantaneous current, right? I will have the stator current space vector. Okay, so plus taking out this constant from the derivative, I will have the derivative of the rotor current space vector with respect to the time. I will call this equation number 1. Equation number 3, sorry. Okay. In a similar way, I will work in the rotor side. Okay, so I will have, for instance, for the voltages, the rotor voltage space vector, okay, is equal to I will have the rotor resistance times the rotor current space vector plus the derivative. This is the rotor flux space vector. Okay, minus J, I will have here the speed, omega, and the rotor flux space vector. Okay, this is for the rotor. I will use the same formula, for instance, the rotor flux space vector. Okay, so we have already derived this equation in the previous class. I will have the magnetizing inductance, the stator current space vector plus the rotor inductance times the rotor current space vector. Okay, so once again, following the same methodology, so substituting, let's call this equation number 4 and this equation number 5. Okay, so substituting into this equation, I will get the following equation. Okay, so let's clear this part. Okay, so let's clear this part. Okay, so I will get the rotor voltage space vector, substituting equation number 5 into equation number 4, from which the rotor voltage is equal to, this is the rotor resistance times the rotor current space vector plus, I will have here the magnetizing inductance, the derivative of the stator current space vector with respect to the time, okay, plus the rotor inductance, applying the derivative. This is the rotor current space vector minus the speed times the magnetizing inductance, the stator current space vector. Okay, minus, I will have J, the speed. I will have the rotor inductance times the rotor current space vector. Okay, so let's call this equation number 6. Okay, what is my objective? My objective is to have the space representation in the alpha beta model using the current. Okay, in the previous calculation, we compute with the fluxes, okay? So I need a room, I need space here. So let's clear this part. So I have 2 by 2 equations. And my objective is to compute the derivative of the current, right? Okay, so I will have 2 by 2 equations. And my objective is to compute this current. These are the derivatives, okay? For that, I will multiply my first equation times the rotor inductance, and my second equation times the negative of the magnetizing inductance. Okay? So therefore, I will get, and solving, I will get for here, I will get the stator current space vector. Okay? I will get the rotor current space vector. Solving these 2 by 2 equations. Okay? The first equation, I think, is equation number 3 times the rotor inductance, and the equation number 6 times the magnetizing inductance. Solving this 2 by 2 equation, I will get the derivative of the stator current space vector and the derivative of the rotor current space vector, okay? Solving this 2 by 2 equation, I will get the derivative of the stator current space vector, okay, is equal to 1 over, I will have here the stator inductance times the rotor inductance times the stator resistance times the rotary inductance minus the speed. I will have here the magnetizing inductance, the stator current space vector, plus I will have 1 over the stator inductance times the rotary inductance times the rotor resistance times the magnetizing inductance minus J speed. This is the mechanical speed, magnetizing inductance, rotor inductance, rotor current space vector, plus I will have 1 over the stator inductance, the rotor inductance, times the rotor inductance. This is times, right? So I continue down. So I will have the rotor inductance plus the rotor inductance times. Okay, so let's clear this part. Okay, so I will have times the rotor inductance times the stator voltage space vector. Okay, minus 1 over. I will have the stator inductance, the rotor inductance, the magnetizing inductance, the rotor voltage space vector. And let's call this equation number A. Okay, equation number B. So once again, solving these two equations, I will have my second equation, the rotor current space vector. Okay, so I will have the derivative of the rotor current space vector. This is equal to 1 over. This is the stator inductance, the rotor inductance. I will have the stator resistance, the magnetizing inductance plus J plus the speed times magnetizing inductance, stator inductance times stator current space vector plus I will have 1 over the leakage coefficient. I will have the stator inductance, rotor inductance times rotor resistance times the stator inductance plus J. I will have the speed, rotor inductance, stator inductance times the rotor current space vector minus I will have 1 over the leakage coefficient. I will have the stator inductance, the rotor inductance times the magnetizing inductance, the stator current space vector plus I will have 1 over the coefficient, the leakage coefficient. I will have times the stator inductance, rotor inductance times. Let's clear this part. Okay, so times the stator inductance and the rotor voltage space vector. Okay, so solving this 2x2 equation, I get equation number A and equation number B. So I want to put in the matrix form. Okay, so I will have here the derivatives. Okay, I will have here the derivatives to the left side. So I will put in the matrix form, I will get this equation. The derivative of the stator current space vector, the derivative of the rotor current space vector. I will get this is the matrix A. Okay, so I have in the space vector representation, in this case, in the alpha beta model. Okay, so what I want is the matrix A. So expanding this last expression in the alpha beta component. Okay, so I will expanding in the alpha beta components. I will get this model. Okay, so depending on the choice of the state space magnitude, different state space model can be obtained. So the first model was for the fluxes, right? This is my first model using the fluxes. And this is my second model using the currents. Okay? So once again, depending on the choice of the state space magnitude, different state space model can be obtained. We will use two models. The first one is the flux model, and the second one is the current model, okay? This is the state space representation of the alpha beta model. So once again, this is the matrix the matrix A in order to carry out the small signal stability analysis, okay? Anyway, in order to make clear this, let's work in the following problem. Problem 4. Okay. So, Mr. Sala, could you please read over the problem 4?
Yes, doctor. Problem 4. Steady state evaluation in alpha beta coordinates by using the procedure of previous example. The synchronous operating mode can also be evaluated. It is known that the 2 megawatts, the FIM, is operate under the following conditions. Computes A, the fluxes, B, the stator and rotor current, C, the electromagnetic torque, and stator current power.
Okay, thank you. So in this problem, I will use the state space evaluation in the alpha beta coordinates, okay? So for that, I will have the data from the stator. So pay attention, I am working in the synchronous reference frame, okay? And the problem is asking me to carry out the evaluation in the alpha beta reference frame, okay? For the rotor, the same. I have the data in the synchronous reference frame, okay? What I need is the evaluation in the alpha beta coordinates, okay? So therefore, I need to represent in the alpha beta coordinates, okay? That is the reason I have the data of the angle, okay? In order to evaluate the steady state analysis in alpha beta coordinates, okay? And besides, this is the data from the manufacturer, okay? I will have the inductances and the resistance, okay? So let's start the analysis. With the calculation of the angle, okay? So I will start here. So I have the data in the synchronous reference frame. Yeah, I need the data in the stator reference frame, okay? So for that, I will have this is the 30 degrees, 0.52, 36 radians. This is the conversion factor, okay? What is the conversion factor? 180 degrees by radians, okay? So I will get data S in radians, okay? And besides, in order to compute data, I will apply the integral of the speed. This is the stator speed, the synchronous speed, the differential, and this is equal to the speed times t. Okay. For this problem, I will have a frequency of operation is 50 hertz. Okay. And therefore, I will compute the speed. The speed is equal to 2 times pi times the frequency. Okay. Okay, this is equal to 2 times pi times 50, and this is equal to 314.1592. This is radians per second. Okay, this is the speed. Okay, so replacing in this equation, I will have the time, right? So theta S is equal to 314.1592 times t. Okay, times t. Therefore, let's compute the time. Okay, so solving for t in this equation, I will get the time, right? So the time is equal to 1.66 milliseconds. Okay. Yeah. In addition, the problem specifies the synchronous speed operation. Okay. Therefore, the rotor speed is equal to 0. Okay, so therefore, I will have here the slip is equal to the rotor speed over the stator speed, and this is equal to, I will have the stator speed minus the mechanical speed over the stator speed, and this is equal to 0. Okay, therefore, the mechanical speed is equal to the stator speed, and this is equal to, the previous calculation is equal to this value. Okay, so I will have 314.15 and 92 radians per second. Okay, and taking into account the rotor speed is equal to 0 radians per second according to the problem. Okay, so once the all angular speed values were determined, so the corresponding angles are computing as follows. For instance, let's compute the rotor angle. Okay, so for the rotor angle, integrating the rotor speed, okay, but in this case is 0. Okay, in this case is 0. And for the mechanical angle, okay, I will have the integral. This is the mechanical speed, as this is the differential of t. Okay, so integrating, I will have the speed times the time. Okay, the speed is equal to 314.15 92 radians per second. Okay, times the time we have already computed is 1.66 milliseconds. Okay, so 1.66 milliseconds. Okay, so therefore, I will get this is equal to 0.9236 in radians. In degrees, I will have 30 degrees. Okay. Okay, so I need to derive the equation in the alpha beta coordinates. Okay, so starting for the flux. So do you remember we have already derived this equation as a function of the flux in the DQ reference frame? Okay, so we have this equation is the steady state representation, steady state evaluation, and that is the way in order to compute the electromagnetic torque. Okay, so I will start taking the derivative. Okay, I will start taking the derivative. Okay, so I will say the derivative. Okay, the derivative. I will have the stator flux space vector. I will have the rotor flux space vector. Okay, is equal to, so I will have the stator resistance over, I will have the stator inductance, the stator resistance times the magnetizing inductance over, I will have the stator inductance times the rotor inductance. Okay. Okay, so the second row, I will have the rotor and the rotor resistance, magnetizing inductance over, I will have the stator inductance, the rotor inductance, I will have minus the rotor resistance over the rotor inductance plus, okay, this is time of the flux, this is the steady state representation, the stator flux space vector, I will have here the rotor flux space vector, okay? So this is plus, I will have the stator voltage space vector, and I will have the rotor voltage space vector. So we have already derived this equation. Okay, so now I need a solution in the alpha beta reference frame. Okay, I need this solution in the alpha beta reference frame. Okay, so let's work on the left side. Okay, I will work in the left side. I will take the derivative. Okay, I have this data. I have this data. This is the stator voltage space vector times I will have E, I will have the to the power theta s, I will have the rotor flux space vector times I will have theta s. Okay, so taking the derivative, so applying the product rule for derivatives, I will have this is equal to, okay, this is equal to, okay, so I will take the derivative, the stator flux space vector times, okay, I will take the derivative, this is the rotor flux space vector, this is the stator flux space vector, okay? The rotor flux space vector times okay, this is my first term, minus, I will have my second term, and my second term is, in this case, the speed times the stator flux space vector times, I will have the stator speed times the rotor flux space vector times theta s. Okay, so from which isolating this term and taking out this common factor, isolating this term and taking out as a common factor, okay, I will get the derivative. I will have the stator flux space vector. The derivative, I will have the rotor flux space vector. This is the derivative, right? And this is the derivative too. Okay, this is a space vector, this is a space vector. Okay, so this is equal to, I will have the derivative. This is the stator flux space vector times E. I will have J theta S. This is the derivative times, yeah, from the right side, taking out this is a common factor, this term to the left side, I will have positive, right? I will have positive, so I will have theta S. This is my first term. The second term, I will have the derivative. This is the rotor flux space vector. I will have E. I will have theta S times I will have E to the power of theta S. Okay, plus J. Yeah, I will have here the speed. Okay, times the stator flux space vector. I will have here the rotor flux space vector. Okay, so let's call this equation 2. Okay, and the question 1 is this one. Okay, and the question 1 is this one. Okay, so I will have, for instance, for this case, substituting equation number 1 into equation number 2, I will get the following equation. Okay, so equation number 1 into equation number 2. So I will have the derivative. I will have here the stator flux space vector, rotor flux space vector, Okay, so I will have here the derivative, the stator flux. This is the synchronous reference frame. Okay, times this is theta s. I will have the derivative of the rotor flux space vector. This is in the synchronous reference frame times, okay, so plus I will have J. This is the speed times the stator flux space vector. I will have here the speed, the rotor flux space vector. So this is equation number 1, and this is equal to equation number 2. And equation number 2 is equal to, I have this matrix, stator resistance over stator inductance. I will have here the stator resistance, magnetizing inductance over, I will have the stator inductance, the rotor inductance. I will have the rotor resistance times the magnetizing inductance over the stator inductance, the rotor inductance, minus the rotor resistance over the coefficient leakage, the leakage coefficient times the rotor inductance plus, okay, so times, I will have the stator flux space vector, rotor flux space vector. Okay, so I will have here the stator voltage. This is the stator voltage space vector. Yeah, I will have the rotor voltage space vector. Okay. So isolating this term, from this equation, I will get the derivative. Because I have the data in the synchronous reference frame. I need to work in the alpha beta reference frame, in the stator reference frame. Okay. So I will have here the stator flux. This is in a synchronous reference frame times E. I will have the derivative of the rotor flux space vector. Okay. So isolating from the previous equation, so I will have E to the power theta s. Okay, this is equal to, I will have the stator resistance okay, so I will have the stator resistance over the leakage coefficient times the stator inductance. I will have here the stator resistance, magnetizing inductance. I will have here the leakage coefficient times the stator inductance times the rotor inductance. I will have the rotor resistance, magnetizing inductance over the leakage coefficient times the stator inductance, the rotor inductance, minus the rotor resistance, over, I will have the rotor inductance times the leakage coefficient plus the speed times, I will have here the stator voltage space vector. I will have the rotor flux space vector, okay, plus I will have the stator voltage space vector. I will have the rotor voltage space vector, okay, the rotor voltage space vector minus, I will have J. This is the stator speed times the stator flux space vector, the stator speed, the rotor flux space vector. Okay, so I will put in the matrix form. I will put this term in the matrix form. So I will take the speed out. Taking out the speed, the synchronous speed out, I will get this term, I will get in the following way, okay? So let's clear this. So this term, I will put in the matrix form. Okay, so I will get this term plus, I will have minus J. This is the speed, 0, 0. I will have, okay, times the stator flux space vector. I will have the rotor flux. I will have the rotor flux space vector. Okay, so once again, taking out as a common factor this term, taking out a common factor this term and this term, okay, I will get the following equation. Taking out as a common factor these two terms, so I will get the following equation. Okay, so I will have the derivative, I will have here the stator flux space vector. This is is represented in a synchronous reference frame times, I will have theta. This is the derivative of the rotor flux space vector. Once again, represented in a synchronous reference frame times, okay, this is equal. Okay, so taking out as a common factor, I will have these two matrices. Okay, I will have minus the stator resistance over the stator inductance minus the stator resistance, the stator inductance, the rotor inductance, rotor resistance, magnetizing inductance, leakage coefficient times the stator inductance, rotor inductance, rotor resistance, rotor inductance, minus, okay, I will take times, in this case is times the stator flux space vector, in the matrix form the rotor flux space vector, okay, plus, okay, so I will have here plus, I have the voltage, right? So I will have the stator voltage space vector, the rotor voltage space vector. This is the equation, okay? This is the final equation. Okay, so what happened in a steady state? In a steady state analysis, the derivatives are equal to 0 for the steady state analysis, okay? Therefore, isolating the fluxes for steady state analysis, this is equal to 0. Therefore, isolating the fluxes, I will have the stator flux space vector, the rotor flux space vector, okay, is equal to, I will have the inverse of this matrix, okay, times the stator voltage space vector, the rotor voltage space vector, okay? So I will have the matrix RS over Okay, so I will have here the coefficient, the leakage coefficient, minus the speed, the stator resistance, the magnetizing inductance, times the stator inductance, the rotor inductance. This is the 1/2 element. I will have the rotor resistance, magnetizing inductance. I will have the stator inductance, the rotor inductance, rotor resistance. I will have the rotor inductance minus, I will have the speed. Okay, I will have the speed. Okay, so I have this. This is the final equation. Okay, so do you remember in the problem I have the data? Yeah, in the problem I have the data. I have the data in the synchronous reference frame, the DQ coordinates. Yeah, I need to work in alpha beta coordinates, okay? So therefore, I will have here the stator voltage is represented in the synchronous reference frame. I have 4 plus J 500 63.4, okay, volts. What about the rotor? I have the data in the synchronous reference frame 2. So this is in the synchronous reference frame. So I will have minus 2.5 plus J. Okay. So theta S is equal to 0.5236. Yeah, okay, so if I want in the stator reference frame, I need to multiply by the angle, okay? So I will have, this is equal to E theta S, okay, times the stator voltage in the synchronous reference frame. Okay, so I will have E, this is 0.5236 times this voltage, because I am working on the stator side. Okay, so I will have 4 plus J, continue down, so I will have 563.4, and this is equal to negative 278.24 plus J 489.92. Okay, so this is the alpha coordinates, and this is the beta coordinates. Okay, so the same for the rotor. Okay, the same for the rotor. Okay, so once again, I want to represent in the alpha beta coordinates. So for the rotor, I will have here, this is the rotor voltage space vector is equal to times the rotor flux. So this is in the stator reference frame, and this is in the synchronous reference frame. Okay, so I will have E to the power, I will have 0.5236 times the data of the rotor is this voltage. So I will have negative 2.5 plus J 7.5. Okay, so this is equal to negative 5.91 51 plus J, I will have pi 0.24, 52. Okay, so this is the alpha coordinates, and this is the beta coordinates for the rotor. Okay. What else? The leakage coefficient is equal to 1 minus magnetizing inductance over stator inductance, rotor inductance. Okay. Okay, so this is equal to 1 minus, I will have the magnetizing inductance. This is data from the manufacturer. I need the magnetizing inductance, the stator inductance, and the rotor inductance. Okay, so this is equal to 1 minus. Applying the conversion factor, I have in Henry's 0.0025 square over, I will have the stator inductance 0.002587 times the rotor inductance 0.002587, and this is equal to the leakage coefficient is equal to 0.0661. Okay, so let's back to the formula. This is the formula, right? We derive this formula. Okay, so substituting these values, I will get, this is the stator flux space vector, and this is the rotor flux space vector. Okay, this is equal to the negative. So I will have negative 0.0026 over 0.0661 times 0.002587 minus the speed. We have already computed this value is 314.1592. Okay, so I will have the stator resistance 0. Let's use another color. Okay, so I will have 0.0026 times 0.0025 over, I will have, the leakage coefficient. We have already computed this value 0.0661 times the stator inductance. I will have 0.002587 times, I will have the rotor inductance 0.002587. Okay, the other term I will have 0.0029 times 0.0025 over the leakage coefficient 0.0661 times 0.002987 times 0.00, I will have 2587. Okay, and the last term is equal to the negative. Okay, I will have the rotor resistance plus the mechanical speed times the stator inductance. Okay, so because this is equal to this, I will cancel off. Okay, so I will have only the resistance 0.0029 over 0.00661 times 0.002587. Okay, this is the inverse, right? This is the inverse. So times the voltages. Okay, so we have already computed the voltages. So continue here times the voltages. So I will have negative 278.24 plus J 489.92. This is for the stator. For the rotor, 5.9151 plus J. I will have 5.2452. Okay, so therefore, I will compute this. Okay, is this taking the inverse times this? I will get the flux. So I will have the stator flux, but pay attention. I have now in the stator reference frame. Okay, the rotor flux space vector is represented in the stator reference frame. And do you remember in the problem I have the data in the synchronous reference frame? Okay, so I will have the flux 1.5710 plus J 0.9070 1.1693 plus J 1.1859. So I have the fluxes in the alpha beta coordinates. Okay. Okay, so from now on, we have 10 minutes break, guys. Okay, so see you in 10 minutes. So we have 10 minutes break.
Okay, doctor. Thanks.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Okay, guys. Are you there?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, about the current, the second question. So we have already computed the fluxes. Okay, so now we need to compute the stator and rotor currents. And finally, the electromagnetic torque and stator and current powers. Okay, so let's continue with the currents, okay? Okay, so we have already derived the equation for the currents. Okay, so I will have so let's split up in the alpha and beta coordinate. So I will have the alpha coordinate. This is for the stator, beta coordinate. Later on, the alpha for the rotor and the beta for the rotor. Okay, so we have already derived this equation. So I am using, this is the state matrix. So I will have the stator inductance, 0. Magnetizing inductance, stator inductance, rotor inductance, 0, 0. I will have 1 over leakage coefficient, stator inductance, 0. Magnetizing inductance, stator inductance, rotor inductance, magnetizing inductance, rotor inductance, I will have 0, the element 2 by 3. I will have rotor inductance, 0. I will have 0. Magnetizing inductance, stator inductance, rotor inductance, 0. And rotor inductance. Okay, this is the state matrix. Times the fluxes. So we have already computed the fluxes. Okay, so we have already computed the fluxes. I will have the alpha and beta component, alpha and beta component. Okay, so I will have the stator. This is the stator flux, alpha coordinates, stator flux in beta coordinates. What about the rotor? So I will have the rotor flux in alpha coordinates and the beta coordinates. Okay, so we know all values. These data come from the manufacturer, and we have already computed the fluxes, okay? So I will have the stator current in alpha coordinates, rotor current, okay, so substituting the values, I will have 1,845.41. I will have 0, negative 5,648.83, 0. I will have 0, 5,845.41. I will have 0, negative 5,648.83. Okay, next I will have 5,648.83. I will have 0, 5,845.41, and the next element 0. I will have 0, the element 4 by 1. The element 4 by 2, I will have negative 5,648.83. I will have 0. And the element 4 by 4, I will have 5,845.41. Okay, so time the fluxes, okay? Time the fluxes. So I will have the alpha component. I will have the beta component. This is the stator fluxes. The alpha component. And the beta component. This is the rotor fluxes. Okay, so finally I will get the corex, okay? Okay, so I will have, this is the alpha component. This is the beta component. This is the alpha component. This is the beta component. So I will have here in amperes 2,578.37, 1,397.26, 2,039.68, 1,808.68 amps. Okay, this is the core. Okay, so finally, let's compute the electromagnetic torque and the active and reactive power as much for the stator as for the rotor. Okay, so let's continue with the electromagnetic torque. Okay, so the electromagnetic torque is equal to 3/2. I will have the magnetizing inductance over leakage coefficient, stator inductance, rotor inductance, number of poles, times the imaginary part. So I will have the rotor flux, space vector, times the stator flux, space vector. Okay. So the electromagnetic torque is equal to 3/2. Magnetizing inductance 0.0025 over the leakage coefficient. I will have 0.0. We have already computed this value, 661, times the stator inductance from the manufacturer is in millihenries. Using the conversion factor, I will have in henries, so I will have 0.002587 times the rotor inductance. I will have 0.00258.87. The number of poles is equal to times the imaginary part. So we have already computed the rotor flux space vector. So I will have 1.1693 minus J 1.1859. This is the rotor flux space vector times the stator flux space vector. I will have 1.5710 plus J 0.9070. Okay, so the electromagnetic torque is equal to 13.6 kilonewton meter. Okay, this is the electromagnetic torque. What about the active and reactive powers? Okay, so for instance, from the stator, the stator active power In the alpha beta reference frame, in the alpha beta coordinates is 3/2. I will have the stator voltage. Alpha component, I will have the current plus the beta component times the beta component of the current. Okay, this is for the stator. I will have the stator reactive power is equal to 3/2. I will have the beta component times the alpha component minus the alpha component times the beta component. Okay, so the rotor active power is 3/2. Okay, so I will have the alpha component, the current. So I have plus the beta component. That this is for the rotor active power. For the rotor reactive power is equal to 3/2. This is the beta component times the alpha component minus. I will have the alpha component times the beta component. Okay, so we have already computed these values. Therefore, substituting these values into each equation, I will get the stator active power 2.1 megawatts. The stator reactive power 1.31 megawatts. The rotor active power 32.33 kilowatts. And for the rotor reactive power, I will have here 0. Okay? I will get 0. Is that clear, guys? Do you have any question?
Yes, doctor.
Tell me. Do you have any question, guys?
All is okay, doctor.
Okay. No problem. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue with the next part, the alpha beta. In this case, let's derive the equation for the state space representation of the DQ model. Okay. So let's back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so now. Okay, so I will have here the derivative. So pay attention, we have already the equations in the synchronous reference frame. It means the DQ model. Okay, so I will get two equations. The first one, the first model using the fluxes, and the second model using the currents. Okay, so I will have here the state space matrix, okay, times the flux plus the voltages. Okay, so once again, splitting up the synchronous reference frame in two components, D and Q component, for the stator and for the rotor, once again, splitting up in two components, D and Q. This is the synchronous reference frame. I will get this matrix. Okay, the same for the flux. Okay, so I will have in the synchronous reference frame, this is the DQ coordinate. I will have here the rotor flux space vector, splitting up, expanding the terms. I will have in the DQ coordinates. And finally, the same for the voltages, okay? Splitting up into components. Okay, so it's broken down into components. So finally, this is the state space representation of the DQ model using the fluxes, okay? Using the fluxes. But it's possible to have the currents too. Okay, so for the current, I will have here the derivative. Once again, is represented in the synchronous reference frame. Okay, the current in the synchronous reference frame and the voltage in the synchronous reference frame. Therefore, splitting up in two components, I will get in the DQ reference frame. Okay, so splitting up, I will have, for instance, this current in the DQ reference frame, in the DQ coordinates. This current in the DQ coordinates. The same for the other currents and the voltages, okay? So for instance, for this voltage, splitting up in the two coordinates, I will have these voltages. For the rotor 2, this is the rotor voltage space vector. Splitting up in the two components, I will get these two vectors. So finally, this is the state space matrix. Okay, so I will have this model using the currents and this model using the fluxes, but I have the state space representation of the DQ model. Okay, so once again, in order to make clear this, let's work in the next example. Okay. So, Mrs. Sola, could you please read over the problem 5?
Sure. And by using the procedure of previous example, the synchronous operating mode can also be evaluated. It's now that the 2 megawatts double feed induction machine is operating under the following condition. Compute letter A, the fluxes, letter B, the stator and rotor currents, the letter C, the electromagnetic torque, and stator current power.
Okay, thank you. So once again, I need to carry out the analysis or the steady state evaluation, but in this case, in the DQ coordinates. Okay, normally the state space representation of the double FET induction machine in the DQ reference frame are especially useful in obtaining the steady state for given stator and rotor input voltages. Okay, so for this case, I am analyzing the steady state. It means this is a dynamical model. Okay, the DQ, alpha, beta, and the three reference frame, right? The DQ, this is the rotor reference frame. This is the DQ. This is a synchronous reference frame. We call A, right? We call A. Okay, and the alpha beta reference frame, the coordinate is the stator reference frame. So we have the dynamical models. Okay, the steady state analysis is a particular case of the dynamical analysis. Okay, so once again, I am analyzing the steady state condition. That is the reason I need to analyze the steady state evaluation in the DQ coordinates. Okay, so we have already derived this equation. For instance, let's start with the fluxes. Okay, so I will have the equation for the fluxes. So if I am analyzing the steady state, means this derivative is equal to 0, right? This derivative is equal to 0. Therefore, isolating the fluxes here and substituting the values, okay, I will get the fluxes. What about these voltages? Are data from the problem, okay? Are data from the problem. Okay, so I am working in the DQ coordinates. Okay, so I will have isolating the fluxes. I will have the direct access fluxes, the quadrature access flux. This is for the stator, the direct access flux for the rotor, and the quadrature access flux for the rotor is equal to, okay, I will take the inverse Okay, so once again, substituting these values, this data come from the manufacturer. Okay, so I will get negative 15.36, 314.16, 14.86, I will have 314.16 minus 15.36. I will have 0, 14.86. I will have 16.55. I will have 0, 17.55. I have 0. And finally, I will have 0. This is the element 4 by 1. The 4 by 2, I will have 16.75, 0, and negative 17.15. I need the inverse of this matrix, okay? Times, according to the problem, times the fluxes, okay? Times, sorry, okay, if this is 0, isolating this equation, so I will have the inverse times the voltage, right? Times the voltage. So I will multiply by the voltage. So I will have, for instance, this is 4. This is the direct access voltage. The quadrature access voltage is data from the problem, 563.4. This is for the stator. For the rotor, I will have 2.5, 7.5. Okay, so finally the fluxes are equal to 1.81, 0, 1.86, and 0.43. This is my first question, to compute the fluxes. Okay? Okay, let's continue with the calculation of the electromagnetic torque. The electromagnetic torque, I will have 3/2 magnetizing inductance, rotor inductance, stator inductance times the number of poles. Okay, times I will have the imaginary part. This is the rotor flux, space vector, the stator voltage, space vector. Magnetizing inductance. Okay, so I will have here the leakage coefficient, rotor inductance, stator inductance, number of poles. I will have the direct access flux, the quadrature access flux minus the quadrature access flux. This is for the rotor. And the direct access flux, this is for the stator. Okay. So we know from the manufacturer this term, and we have already computed this term. The number of poles is equal to, okay? So I will have the electromagnetic torque. So this term, the value is 17,147 times, I will have 1.6 times 0 minus 0.43 times 1.81. Therefore, the electromagnetic torque is equal to negative 13.6 kilonewton meter, okay? This is the electromagnetic torque. So finally, the stator and rotor currents can be calculated with expression. So once again, we have already derived this equation. So we have, let's back to the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so now I am carrying out the steady state analysis. Okay, therefore the derivatives are equal to 0. Okay, so isolating the currents, I will compute these currents. Okay. Okay, so I will have the direct access current, the quadrature access current, the direct access current. This is for the stator, and now I am in the rotor side. The quadrature access current, okay, is equal to, I will have 1 over the stator inductance, 0, magnetizing inductance, stator inductance, rotor inductance, 0. I will have 0, 1 over, this is the stator inductance, 0, magnetizing inductance, leakage coefficient, stator inductance, rotor inductance, minus magnetizing inductance. Okay, I will have the stator inductance, the rotor inductance, I will have 0, the leakage coefficient, the rotor inductance, 0, and the last row, let's clear this because I need a space. Okay, so I will have 0, magnetizing inductance over the leakage coefficient. I will have the stator inductance, rotor inductance, 0, 1 over the rotor inductance times the fluxes, right? So I will have the direct access flux. I have the quadrature access flux, the direct access flux, the quadrature access flux. This is for the stator, these two terms, and these two terms is for the rotor. Okay, so let's compute this current. Let's compute this current. I will have the direct access current, the quadrature access current, the direct access current, the quadrature access current, and this is equal to this matrix, right? So substituting the values in the previous in the beginning, we compute the leakage coefficient. The rest of the data come from the manufacturer. Okay, so substituting these values, I will get the state space matrix. Okay, so I will have 5,910. I will have 0. So I have 5,900, 715.7. I have 0. I have 0. 5,910, 0, 5,015.7. I will have 5,015.7, 0, 5,914.6. I will have 0, 0. I will have 5,715.7, 0, 5,914.6. Okay, time the fluxes, right? So we have already computed fluxes in the previous step. So 1.81, 0, 1.6, and 0.43. Okay, so therefore we have the currents. Okay, so I will have the direct access current, the quadrature access current for the stator side. I will have the direct access current for the rotor and the quadrature access current for the rotor. Okay, so computing these values, I will have 1,543.3, 2,499.2, 800 62.1, 2586.2. Okay. So notice that the rotor currents are referred to the stator side. Okay. The rotor currents are referred to the stator side. Okay, so finally, what is missing is to compute the stator active power. The stator active power is 3/2. I will have the direct access voltage times the direct access current plus the quadrature access voltage times the quadrature access current. So let's take a look. This value is equal to 2.1 megawatt. Using the alpha beta coordinates and the DQ coordinates, I get the same value, okay? I get the same value. What about the stator reactive power? So once again, I will have 3/2. So we have already computed this current in the previous step and the voltage are data from the problem, okay? So substituting the values, I will have the quadrature access voltage times the direct access current minus the direct access voltage times the quadrature access current. So once again, I get the same value, 1.3 megavar. Okay, what about the rotor? So I will have the rotor active power is equal to 3/2. I will have the direct access voltage times the direct access current plus the quadrature access voltage times the quadrature access current. So once again, substituting the values, I get the same value, 32.3 kilowatts. Okay, and finally, for the rotor reactive power, this is equal to 0. Okay, so using any reference frame, at the end, I get the same values. Okay, at the end, I get the same values. Okay, so do you have any question, guys?